Hey, Shalom, Akim. This is Abaya Allah here, the surrogate of Yahawashi / Paradigms. When more praise on and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM Yahawashi, BAHASHAM HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Greatmillstone, taught me the truth of the world. Peace and salutations unto the shepherds that feed the sheep of Yahawah, which means he to be in the ancient Hebrew, which is the Heavenly Father's ancient Hebrew name. All right, which means he to be in the only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Real name in Hebrew is Yahawashi. Which means he to deliver is coming to deliver the predestined one-third elect of the nation of Israel, starting with the 144,000 prophets, which are all men, and the men, women, and children that consist of the great multitude, written in the book of Revelations, the 7th chapter. Okay, and the 12 tribes consist of you so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Hispanic, Latinos, Native Seminole Indians, and those who descend from those 12 tribes, scattered in every nation under heaven, which even looked like the other heathen nations where they were scattered. But indeed, their spirit and bloodline indeed goes back to these 12 tribes. Okay, Israel scattered in every nation under heaven. Okay, mixed features, mixed complexions, speak different tongues. All right, to you, the few Akwathium, the sisters out there and the brothers out there, Akim, that truly believe in Yahawashi Yahawashi, to you I say Shalom. It's a real quick video going into this topic here. I wasn't going to say too much on it, but I will, all right, because this is another goddamn, I won't say goddamn, but it's another event that took place, this overturning of this Roe v. Wade. Pretty much, it didn't make abortion illegal, but it gives the states, individual states, the authority to judge whether or not their state will pass it or legalize it or make it illegal, abortion. Okay, that's what it did. And, I believe a lot of red states are already speaking on, succeeding, from the United States, seceding from the Union. Not they go to left field, but this all plays a role in the confusion, Babylon in this confusion being broadcasted out here through their media, order ad kale. All right. So this is causing more division, within the United States, Egyptian, versus Egyptian, like the scriptures speak about, which are these modern day Americans today. All right, modern day Babylonians. Okay, so as you can see here, you have, what does it says, Antifa. Once you see that, you know who's behind it all. Okay, because coming to find out also that this whole abortion, rights movement is backed by BLM. Okay, so should be no surprise there, because one of the agenda was to destroy the nucleus, of the family, which is pretty much the father figure, which that's been done really since the 70s with their women's liberation movement, but it was to further destroy it. Okay, so this whole abortion rights, this is low on the totem pole, really, because we're in the midst of a famine. We're in the midst of World War III. We're in the midst of an economic collapse, and this is being used, as the great distraction or upheaval, for these lame brains out here. Okay, because there's a lot of them in Babylon the Great, still to this day. Okay, so I'm gonna play this real quick. Videos on YouTube I had. So I want to get into a few scriptures, which I'm gonna show you, but I'm gonna get into one specifically, which is in Job. Okay, because these women, they started to catch wreck. All right, you had the the baby formula shortage, right? Now you had a tampon shortage. Okay, so now this so-called, law was overturned, to a degree. So as this place goes down, these women, they're going down as well with this place. Whoever pretty much are in league with the workers of iniquity, which is here in Babylon the Great, with that philosophy. You know, that Margaret Sanger philosophy, and then you know, the eugenics, because that's ultimately what all of that was when they passed the women's liberation movement. Was pretty much industrial mass, how would you say it, mass produced sacrifice, you know, of children on an industrial level. All right, that's really what all of that was. So now they begin to overturn it just, you know, halfway, and this is what people are crying over: the right to kill their children. From what we see in their media, right? This is BS. But anyway, let me go here real quick. Because in this day and age, to have a child, that's pretty stupid. Because they're gonna be born right into this Jacob's trouble. You know, they're gonna be born into the great collapse. All right. You know, within the New World Order, the scriptures talk about how menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. You know, it started back, you know, like I said, 60s, 70s. But then there's also going to be, how would you call them? Stillborns. Okay, when all this hell get ready to break loose. All right, and they're predicting before the year's over, but really this summer, start seeing, you know, this chaos show its head. All right, on another level. Okay, through the you know, the interest, you know, the interest hikes, you know, uh, this inflation, which will soon be, you know, hyperinflation. Okay, so a lot of things are going on. All right, but here you got this lady right here. She was just over there in the Ukraine. All right, now I don't care what goes on in Ukraine. I mean, of course, you know, I'm only concerned with, you know, for prophecy's sake, because that's going to usher in what, World War III. Okay, but other than that, that's Edomite on Edomite crime. All right, and over there, she was just over there, you know, shaking hands with the president of the Ukraine, which is a small hatter. Okay, and all of a sudden she comes back here, and also she cares, you know, for you women to make decisions on abortions, to kill your kids. They showing their colors, ain't they? Huh? Let me play this real quick. In the Congress. Be aware of this. The Republicans are plotting a nationwide abortion ban. They cannot be allowed to have a majority in the Congress to do that. But that's their goal. And if you read, and again, we're all studying all this, but if you read what is in the very clear, one of the justices had his own statement. It's about contraception, in vitro fertilization, family planning. That is all what will spring from their decision that they made today. Such a contradiction. Yesterday, they say the states cannot make laws governing the constitutional right to bear arms. And today, they're saying the exact reverse, that the states can overturn a constitutional right for 50 years, a constitutional right for a woman having the right to choose. The hypocrisy is raging. And you saw that advertisement that said, "Now this is pride." Yeah, because that's part of the agenda. All right. Now over there, and to go off topic, but over there in the Ukraine, I'm hearing that I think they're losing 700 to 1,000 soldiers a day. Okay, remember the U.S. just sent what, I think at a total of maybe 54 to 60 billion dollars over there to pretty much have the Russians pretty much obliterate those Ukrainians, which are other Russians, really. Okay, now they coming back here on some diplomatic, peaceful, you know, talks like they're concerned for what about abortion rights. Man, please. I mean, they do to an extent. right? Because remember, in the United States, it's been estimated that over 800,000 kids go missing, don't they? Every year. That came out during, what is it? Or when the shutdowns first happened. Yeah, so yeah, they do care. They definitely care. Most of those children are what? Israelite kids. Israelite children, excuse me. Kid means baby goat. All right, to be sacrificed unto these sex rings and a whole host of other demonic and satanic witchery, okay, that goes on in this place. All right, so damned if they're born and damned if they're not born. Because if they're born, all right, this is what they want to drag them into. Which is this brother up here, GMS New York camp. All right, he just did a video 2 hours ago that I don't know whose parents these are, but they didn't drag their kids to this drag show. And that's been the big talk this month. This is supposedly Pride Month, right? You put those two words together at the end and the beginning, it means it says demon. That came out this month as well. So the Lord is pretty much making this place bare. This is getting ready to destroy it. All right? So if you're born, this is what they want your kids into. That depopulation agenda. Right? Because that's what Margaret Sanger and all the rest of that shit was about. Mainly directed towards you Israelite kids, so-called Negro, Hispanic, Native American kids. All right? Everyone else just follows. You got the white jakes. They know who they are too. They don't like you either because you're of the chosen line. All right, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They know that. They've been knew that. But through their media, you would think otherwise that they're not catching the hell like we are. Those our people that sold out, they get ready to be judged. But hey, those curses before them as well. They getting fed up as well. But they into this madness too. The scriptures say the Lord's going to destroy 2/3 of Israel. They're part of that number as well, all around the world. But I mainly focus here on America because that's where that number is really assigned to. Okay? Every 2 out of 3 Israelites are going to perish. Right? For madness like that. There's this agenda right here, this alphabet agenda. So if they're born, this is what they want them into. And be a complete abomination, in the eyes of the Lord. Like they're really rebelling when they were created to be the wicked. Right? You know what that's talking about, the ruling class families. Right? Which are the basis of men, of course. Let me throw that out there. So, let me see here. What else did I have? That says protest erupts in Los Angeles after this SCOTUS overturns Roe v. Wade. Now, look what's speaking at the beginning. I don't know if you can find it. Look at that. Look who that is on the mic. Mic check 1 2 1 2. That's the how would you say it? That's the vibration they push in the rebus, divine hermaphrodite. He's a damn nigga. Like a woman. He into that trans thing. All right. This is what they have speaking at the rally. All right. Exposing them even more. This is what they want. So this is just a psyop, okay? So let me see here. I wanted to get into this scripture real quick. Like I said, I had a bunch of them. You know how on a woman and everything else. The Chaldeans, which are the warlocks, and that control this this whole agenda. All right, and the rulers of the darkness of this world, the prince of this world. All right, going into 2 Thessalonians, I believe. First, I had a bunch of them. Isaiah 10:1, woe unto them that decree and righteous decrees. Daniel 8:25, which is going into Antiochus' fourth Epiphanies, which I believe is this guy Biden back here again. But this time, the Lord is making fun of his ass. He's allowing at least to use him, which is done intentionally anyway. It show that pretty much United States as you've known it, it's over with. So what is that? Daniel 8:25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. And by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. And that's a future prophecy. All right, that's when Yahawashi returns. All right, the second coming. But that's not what I want to get into. Is a few more I had. Oh, this one was heavy. I think the elder of which camp is that? I think North Carolina camp, Ashayar. I just saw his video. And he came out with this through the Spirit. So, it's a heavy scripture right here. Let me see if this is it. Let me see. Here we go. Jeremiah 50:31. I start there. It says, "Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud." Okay, it's Pride Month, right? It says, "Saith the Lord, power of hosts, Yahawashi, Yahawashi. It says, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee." Okay, this is nothing but visitation. And the stumbling. It says, "And the most proud shall stumble and fall." That's why they're getting so sloppy. With their tactics, in the media, it's not working. Right? So they have to do things outright because they have no choice. Right? Because the Lord is, taking that, how would you say? That perfected, how would you say it? Form of sorcery, which is deception, away from them. Using, their sorcery, which is their medium, which is, a witch, a median witch, witchcraft. It says, "And none shall raise him up, and I will kindle a fire in his cities." All right, they're talking about this, like with these protests. They're talking about it's supposed to get worse. Like you see with the BLM. All right, but worse than that. Some people weren't falling for it. Certain cities weren't falling for it. Yeah, ton of bricks that show up in certain cities, and then you come to find out, agent provocateurs, which were actually, cops and shit. So yeah, there's a story out on that as well. It says, "And it shall devour all round about him." All right. So I just want to read that real quick, and then there's one more. Should I go into this? Let me see. You know what? I'm gonna make a separate video on this, going into it, how the philosophies of the wicked, the woman be on this side in the Western world, being a personified version of his philosophies, all right, a physical aspect, all right, because she believes, wholeheartedly in this man's system. So, you have certain, celebrities and even these regular women out here, especially our women, starting with the so-called black woman, and right behind her, the Latino woman, all right, being those personified examples. And really all the women of the Western world, especially in the cities, okay? So I'm going to make a separate video on that. So I just wanted to get into that real quick to make a point of what the hell is going on. So just pay attention. Hope this video was edifying to the elect. To next time, Shalom. Yahawah, Yahawashi, Yahawashi. Barakathum. To next time, Shalom.